Alright, no fancy intro or anything like that. Let's just get right into the breakdown and builds using the iconic Demon Wind Shuriken.
Shuriken. Kage Fusha.
If you all remember, back in October, I dropped the Ninja Tool tier list and placed the Demon Wind Shuriken in B tier. Now, while most, if not all, of the competitive players agreed with me, there were a few casual players who either disagreed with me outright or wanted more context. So let's talk about it. How to use a Demon Wind Shuriken effectively. First, the Demon Wind Shuriken is a tactical ninja tool. Its functions are best utilized in completing objectives. Now, these objectives aren't necessarily game mode objectives, but they assist in completing game mode objectives in an unconventional way, meaning not the normal way. The most basic way to use this ninja tool is defensively. Its mechanics excel at defense due to the fact that it hard knocks an enemy it hits, leaving them without any recovery options other than substitution. I'll go into more detail later about this mechanic as we showcase it in some builds. The reason why this is a good defensively is because it can keep enemies off a point like a base or a flag or off you, giving you time to regain some distance and cool down ninjutsu. To use this ninja tool offensively, however, it comes with restrictions. To be as effective as possible with this offensively, you have to remember it's a tactical tool. That means it is to be used in unconventional ways. The number one way that you can use it is to hard knock enemies into pitfalls. To do this, you have to subtract, making sure that the intended target has no substitution jutsu. Once that's done, there is no cover-all way to pitfall an enemy, as it is super situational. Just remember that it hard knocks, and if an enemy without a substitution uses their air jump and dash, then being wall splatted by this tool is instant death. So that's the first cardinal rule of using the Demon Wind Shuriken. Unless you're playing an objective-based game mode like flag battle or base battle, only use this ninja tool on pitfall maps in combat battle. If you're wondering about if it's okay to use in survival mode, the answer is yes. Unless you're getting 10 hits per Demon Wind throw, this ninja tool does very little damage, so using it for damage purposes in a team fight is a waste, as the enemy healer will easily heal off any damage you deal, which is not the case in survival mode. As good as the hard knock is, it can also be used negatively. That is the second restriction. When an ally is comboing an enemy, throwing your Demon Wind, or any ninja tool for that matter, can be counterintuitive and actually save the enemy. Remember that as a range type, your ninja tools have high hit counter and mainly served for knocking enemies away. So to support your teammate in damage, throw out ninjutsu or combo the enemy yourself. Otherwise, track down the enemy healer to prevent them from healing or knock off teammates trying to save their ally with the Demon Wind Shuriken. Again, it is best used in a tactical way like this. The last restriction is more of a word of caution. To get the maximum use out of your Demon Wind, use the clothing skill Armed and Dangerous, or if you have the Kagemasa skill Unparalleled Courage, use that. But remember that your health is the lowest in the game, so you have to really play defensively to avoid getting KO'd instantly. If you decide to forego using Armed and Dangerous for extra health as a safety net, remember that you are still to play defensively, as you will only get one Demon Wind Shuriken charge, and so you aren't able to spam them off. So if an enemy gets within range of you while you're using Demon Wind and it's on cooldown, you could be in trouble. Use your heavy attack to keep enemies off of you while your Demon Wind is on cooldown. So before I get into some builds for you all, here is an overview of what we just discussed. Use Demon Wind Shuriken defensively. Use Demon Wind Shuriken for pitfalling enemies. Use the Demon Wind Shuriken for objectives like base battle or flag battle. Remember that it hard knocks opponents, so they will not be able to recover unless they have a substitution or they're higher up in the air. The hard knock can hit enemies out of your teammates' combos. Now for the first build. This is definitely a survival mode build. It has crazy potential to do about 70 to 80% damage. So what you will need is the following: Kusanagi, Demon Wind Shuriken, Phoenix Flame Scarlet Claw, Shikigami Dance Shield. Water Clone, and I like Super Imitation Ink God, but you can run whatever ultimate of your choice. And as far as the clothing skills go, I have All Geared Up, Armed and Dangerous, and Battle Hardened. I'll be showcasing this match using this build at the end of the video, so let's move on. Next is a build that heavily utilizes the hard knock aspect of the Demon Wind. It also happens to be a classic build, one that I ran about 3 years ago when the game was first released. I decided to showcase this build for nostalgia purposes. It consists of Kusanagi, Demon Wind Shuriken, Amaterasu, Fireball, Ice Clone, and Kirin. As for the stats, I like All Geared Up, although Spiteful Spirit is a valid option. Armed and Dangerous with Battle Hardened. The best way to use these moves together is to hard knock an enemy, then force them to stand up in the Amaterasu and use the Fireball while they are stunned. This technique can also be used with the Kirin to take out an enemy without any ally assists. You'll notice that this build is particularly super effective on pitfall maps, the sand map especially, as you are constantly wall spotting your enemies with the Fireball and the Demon Wind. You can also utilize the Amaterasu in such a way that could pitfall enemies even easier in case they don't fully get wall spotted. The third build is probably the easiest to use out of all of these. It's simply Majestic Destroyer Flame with Icicle Swallow. I went with Power in Spades, Robust Fighter, and Battle Hardened. You can pretty much go crazy with this build as the Demon Wind is mainly to annoy and make enemies use their substitution instead of getting hard knocked. That way you can ensure your Majestic does maximum damage when the enemy doesn't have a substitution. Use the Demon Wind as cover for your charge attack and catch them off sub with Icicle Swallow into Majestic. The last build will also be showcased. I like this build specifically for base battle on the Cloud map or Hidden Forest map, but unfortunately the base battle I was able to get was on the Rain map. Regardless, let me break it down how it works. First you will need your Kusanagi, as it will be mainly to get into 1v1 situations. Next is your Demon Wind. The jutsu are Flame Lightning, multiple striking shadow snakes, Paper Clone, and Kamuri Shuriken for those pesky water pillars, Shan shields, and Needle Jizos. The stats you will use is Spiteful Spirit and Armed and Dangerous, and the range accessory if you have it, otherwise just go with Battle Hardened. The way you use this build is to stall the enemies back at the back cap, especially when your enemy is near a pitfall, because all three of these things are meant to keep the enemy knocking off the area and into the hole. Use the Demon Wind to make the enemy substitute, or use the Flame Lightning to pull them off the base and make them substitute. Once you get them over the edge without a sub, Shadow Snakes goes right through walls, and this is what you will use to tumble them into the abyss. Unfortunately, this build does not cover all like it used to, so while you can beat shields and tick damage the enemy to death, you don't have any armor breakers, so Demon Hunter and Purple Lightning Tool can be a nuisance. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this build and which one you like the best. And tell me some of your favorite Demon Wind Shuriken builds in the comment section below. Alright, now onto the showcase. Thank you if you made it this far into the video. I appreciate your support on this video. For the last thing I want to give tips on is how to get 10 hit Demon Wind Shuriken more consistently. Like everything else with this ninja tool, getting multiple hits is situational. It's all about the angles your opponent must be hard knocked on to the trajectory of the Demon Wind is taking. The best way to generate this is by doing a moving Demon Wind throw while your enemy is charging you or you have them stunned. Again, it's up to you to determine which way to throw it and to predict how your enemy will fall. Thank you all for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.